So you want to know the truth about bringing lines in? Do you really want to know the truth about bringing lines in? This video is not going to be as much tea as you expect, so I'm going to let you know that now. But I still would recommend watching. So welcome to my channel. If you're a new visitor, if you're a returning visitor and a member of the squad, what's good? I'm glad to have you back. This video is going to be about the truth about bringing lines in. And that sounds a little more tearful than I'm actually going to supply. It's going to be a little sip, but it's not going to be, you know, whole, like, you're not going to, your thirst probably not going to be all the way quenched. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. The truth about bringing lines in. So it's a real process. And it's not just a process for the members, it's a process for the Prophytes as well, because it's a time for you to learn your patience. It's a time for you to learn how to be more patient if that's not your strong suit. It's a time for you to learn how to kind of really coach people, and like if you're not used to being like that big sister type of person, if you're not used to being a person that's literally guiding people in the right direction, it's a way for you to learn a lot about yourself, way more than people actually realize. And I also think that's why some, you know, neos end up being like, bro, I hated such and such because she was always riding me. That really explains why the situation appears one way to one person and appears one way to another person, because it's like, I think people only see or think about the neos process when they think about processes. You don't really think about the, you know, time commitment and the mental strain that the, you know, Prophytes are actually going through. With the process, typically you'll have the line or the Prophytes who might be from, you know, the most recent line. It might be some scatters up in there. It might be like, you know, 2 lines ahead, and you have like some neos. But the more of the story is you have these people that are already established members of the organization, right? And then you have a grad council who is pretty much overseeing to make sure that these people are still, you know, operating in the right way, but still kind of giving them the room to, you know, make decisions on their own and things like that, because it is their chapter at the end of the day. But they're just making sure that, you know, they are safe. Like they're kind of like a chaperone in a way, just making sure that they're doing the right thing and they're not putting themselves in a situation which, you know, can not only hurt them in the long run, but also hurt like the chapter, hurt, you know, potentially even hurt the grad chapter members. So it's like they're really there to be sure that they're being safe. One thing that I think people also need to remember is that these people that are graduate advisors of these organizations, they are not getting paid to be on the grad council. Like they're doing this, they're dedicating their time just because they love their organization. They're putting in the time, the effort, the work. Like granted, they may get some, like if they have travel, they might get their travel paid for by the organization, like their chapter, but it's not like they're actually getting a paycheck that says you put in 40 hours this week and you're getting paid for being the grad advisor. That's not what happens. So these people are literally giving back to their organization because they have so much love for it, right? And I think people don't think about them as well. They kind of they miss that part. Also, when it comes to the Prophytes, I don't think that people actually think about what's going on their end, because they have to not only think about what the grad advisors are expecting from them, but they also have to comply with their school requirements. You know, at the end of the day, we all come to school to get degrees. We all come to school to further ourselves education-wise. Now, joining these organizations is an amazing thing. No matter what organization you join, I think, you know, every organization has something unique to offer their members and prospective members. So I'm not going to get into the whole, you know, I'm not gonna get into that, but I think that people also need to be considerate of the fact that these people still need to make sure that they're on top of their grades academically. They need to make sure that, you know, they're meeting the requirements to be in the organization, because there are certain requirements that they have to meet individually and as a unit in order to remain, you know, active. So there are a lot of things that come into play. With all that being said, I think one major point that people are missing with that is the fact that these processes are very stressful on all parties involved, because it's stressful on the prospective member, because you're like, am I doing what I need to do in order to solidify my position in this organization? It's, you know, stressful on the Prophyte, because it's like, these people have expectations, these people have expectations from me, and I'm somewhere in the middle trying to make sure that I'm making everybody happy. And I'm trying to make sure that you know, you have your own personal family life. You have, some people have kids, you know, some people have whole husbands and stuff like that. So it's like people have so many responsibilities, and then they have this thrown on them. And it's like, in order to have these lines, you have to meet certain requirements, and you have to be at certain events at this amount of time, and there are no exceptions to it. Like, if that person is not in compliance, you as a prospective member will not have the opportunity to cross. Like, it's certain things that just have to happen, especially if they're from a smaller chapter where it's like 3 people. I saw my undergraduate chapter, literally it got down to about 3 people when they had to bring in the line, and it was so much strain on them, and it just watching that, it was just like, bro, y'all need help. But at the end of the day, it's only so much help that a person that's not in the chapter can do, right? So it's a very stressful situation on all parties involved. And then you also have to think about the graduate advisor, who is in a stressful position because of course they're having to, you know, be over all of this, oversee all of this. And sometimes you have people that just don't want to listen, want to go against the grain, want to do the most, put not only themselves in danger, but the lives of others in danger. So it's like so many different components that can make the situation stressful, way more stressful than it needs to be. So I think that's one of the biggest truths that I think that people need to realize about bringing lines in, is the fact that it is so time consuming and stressful to all parties involved. You feel the pressure, they feel the pressure, and I mean, corporate is on top of everybody. So it's like everybody got their own individual stressors. Corporate, like, I'm on your ass, bitch. Like, it's a stressful situation that could be bad if given the fuel to the fire. I think that I'm personally at the point where I'm like kind of over bringing lines in, and I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. I personally think that I'm at the point where I like for people to have had their processes and gone through all that, and then come talk to me, because then at that point I feel like we can actually have a real conversation. I don't like to feel like people are trying to butter me up, and I think that that's a lot of I think that's how a lot of people feel as well. And it's not to say that I don't like having conversations. It's just I prefer to have genuine conversations. So I would prefer for somebody to come to me once they've actually crossed and did whatever they have to do, so I can understand that, okay, you're trying to actually genuinely bond with me. You're not trying to just be cool with me because of the situation. Like, you're trying to get into the organization. Like, you're actually wanting to be cool with me because you genuinely are cool with me as a person. And I think that that's one of the, you know, conflicts that I tend to have with the bringing in lines thing, because I feel like somewhere along the line, and I'm not trying to say this like I know everything and I'm just whatever, but I think that at some point people got comfortable and they are only starting to focus on the end goal. And I get it, we all are like, yeah, our goal is to become a member of that organization. I've shown interest, obviously I want to be a member, but at the end of the day, I think it's just people are not so willing to embrace the actual process, willing to just, you know, deal with everything as it comes, and people are just like kind of just trying to hop to the end. What I think could alleviate all the stress is just understanding that your process is literally just that. Is your process is what you make it. If you take your time and actually learn and show that, you know, you're willing to, you know, learn and stuff like that, then I mean, of course I think you'll have a better process. I think that it'll be better for all parties involved. I think it'll be more natural. I think it won't be as tense. I don't think people will be so, you know, combative and just on guard all the time. As incoming prospective members, just understanding that it's not only stressful for you, it's stressful for everybody else involved. As Prophytes, understand that it's stressful for your grad advisors, and for the potential neos, grad advisors, understand that it's stressful for them too. And just try to kind of not step on anybody's toes. Like, everybody just be understanding, play your role, play it well, because one day, like, you don't have to rush to the end of the process. I mean, I get it, we all wanted to. I wanted to too. Like, no, take it in, embrace it, appreciate it, because before you know it, like, you're gonna be in that thing years, and it's gonna be like, bro, where has the time gone? So the truth of the matter is, bringing in lines, I don't like it, y'all. Just understanding that we have to focus on day one before we get to day whatever. You know, it has to start somewhere. So I hope this video helps. I hope it makes sense. If it did, or even if it didn't, I mean, whatever you gotta say it to me in my comments. All right, let me know what you're thinking. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now, right down below, and also hit the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos and all that good stuff, right? What was I gonna say? Okay, no. All right, so thanks for watching. Again, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.